Welcome to another edition of FNM TV. Back from the brink of college, Patrick Holland is here narrating for you my own game against William Noonan. Thank you for joining us and following on FNM TV. We have Mono Black Zombies, piloted by myself, against William Noonan, who's piloting Red Deck Winds on the right. Turn 1 starts off with a Swamp and a Diregraph Ghoul. That guy comes into play tapped. Not quite a Goblin Guide, but same positions. So I will drop another Swamp, go in, hope for a block, don't get it. Obviously, you should kind of expect that. And tap 2 to Distress. Distress allows me to select a card out of my opponent's hand, except for a land card. And he has Stormblood Berserker, Incinerate, and a couple other good cards in there. He top decks a Chandra's Phoenix, or what looks to be. Will play a Mountain, mull over his decisions. Look to go tap. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, I feel like I should be a soccer narrator. So, this is the first week of legal Dark Ascension in our store. So we have the highlights this week. I have 2 other videos that will be going up. I'm actually doing this kind of in a reverse order, so if you're hearing this and you're watching rounds 2, 3, and then this one, round 4, you're watching it in the reverse order of how I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to go round 4, round 3, then round 2. Kind of exciting, isn't it? So I will drop a land, tap 3, and bring out my Geralf's Messenger. Geralf's Messenger enters the battlefield tap. Targeted player loses 2 life. And it has Undying. So as a 3-2, it'll die, come back with a +1/+1 counter, go up to a 4-3, give bigger beats, and a little bit more offensive capability, and they'll still lose 2 life, which is pretty nice. So it's going to pay 3 for Chandra's Phoenix. That's the buy a box promo. And swing in with those 2. I will take 3 damage. And it looks like I'm going to get to untap with my Geralf's Messenger. I'm not going to deal with an Incinerate hitting it. And forcing it to tap and saving himself a damage. I'll go in for 3. He'll take an additional 3 will. And then I'll just drop zombies. 2 of the Highborn Ghouls, which are 2/1s for black. And yeah, they have Intimidate for 2/1s. Not too shabby. Not the fanciest 2-drop in the format, but it's actually surprisingly relevant, that Intimidate ability. If you strap that up with a Lashrith at some point and just swing in, if let's say, just have guys on board that are getting in your way of dudes, it's good to swing in. Your deck creates a lot of damage very quickly with the Swarm. A lot of resiliency from Gravecrawler and Geralf's Messenger. It can also control the board. Not so much that you want to, because you want to keep more of an aggro front. You don't want to be burning cards out of your hand if they're not contributing to board state or not keeping your board state the same. But it's very solid deck choice from what I've seen. Mono black, maybe one or 2 keys away from being the top deck, but it's yet to be seen. Delver is still the best, in my opinion. Although Delver does have a bit of a problem with this deck. Humans smashes this deck, though, from my experience. It's very resilient. What else is there? Phyrexian Obliterator is very, very good in this meta right now. Dismember isn't seeing a lot of play. Go for the Throat isn't seeing a lot of play. Tempered Steel's still sort of a thing. Red decks, people are running a lot of burn spells. Slagstorm, Whip Flares. You drop a Phyrexian Crusader on board, and all of a sudden they really don't want to Slagstorm at all. It gets in the way of Titans. They don't want to swing in. It does a lot right now. It really does a lot, and it's like almost a guaranteed 5 damage if you can untap with it. So he's going to pay for the ability of Grim Lavamancer, shoot my Geralf's Messenger. Will take 2 damage, or he will lose 2 life, not take 2 damage. That is a very relevant keyword for this. because Garof's gets around a lot of damage triggers because of that lose life ability. So Will's mulling over decisions in his hand. I don't know in particular what else he has, but should still have the Incinerate, so he's going to get rid of my Garofs altogether. No reason to kill it the first time if you're not going to get rid of it altogether. Now, if he had a Arc Trail, I might be a little bit worried next turn, but he has something. He'll Galvanic Blast 1, put me down to 1 creature on board. I believe Will is at 9 life. Those dice that you see on camera were donated to FNM TV by ADB, Anthony Hean. I'd like to thank him for that contribution, although this are kind of off camera, which I apologize. And it looks like I'm at 13, and Will is at 11, or 9. I'm pretty sure it's 9, because he didn't move the dice when the Garofs died. Two damage coming in. That'll bring me down to 11. Yep, I should be correct with him at 9, yep. And at this point, it seems like I'm just top-decking land and a Lashrith. I like Lashriths. I don't play and equip the Lashrith. Don't want him to burn it on attack. Are you going to be taking the 2 damage, Will? It's a good question. Will's actually a newcomer to our store. I believe this is like the first or second week Will's been here. Cool guy. Look forward to seeing more of him. And he burns with a Grim Lavamancer. As I had expected, I will drop the Lashrith, which is now a 5/5 black germ that only gets bigger and makes my creatures pretty big. Not sure how I feel about it in mono black right now. This is going to be going up just after Grand Prix Dark Ascension, and people who are running the list for John Finkel, which has become a popular list. I went to another game store this weekend, or this week I should say, on Wednesday, and played, and there were quite a lot of those Delver decks, Delver Spirits that Finkel ran. And I don't think Lashrith is suited to do too well main board with their main board Divine Reckonings and Revoke Existences. So I think if you're going to be playing this deck right now, as good as Lashrith is, you kind of want to, in game 1, have it against them as a dead card. So it might be a conditional sideboard. As long as I'm not playing against the deck, I can side those in. Game 1, they're not going to see Lashriths against me. It's a possible just play to the meta decision, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with Lashrith. Lashrith is a phenomenal card. I am very excited to be playing with Lashriths. Although the only gripe I have with Lashrith is the art. If you guys notice on the art, it really looks like it should be a red card. I don't know why a black card, or a quote-unquote black card, or that revolves around black mana, has fire whip hands. I'm just saying, I don't think it does the art, matches the card. I think there might be a little bit more behind that art story than we're getting. May have started out as a red card and moved. And there's that sexy Gravecrawler buy a box promo. Got all 4 in my boxes, but elected to trade for the buy a boxes because that art is amazing. I like both, but the on the bottom, the buy a box promos all have the mana symbols in the card text, which I absolutely love. I think that's a really nice touch from Wizards, and I love to see those on more cards, even if they get rid of the FNM promo stamp, which honestly I can't stand. I really don't like my card stamp with FNM. I would rather have it as something else. And that little shooting star, get rid of that, please. Like, even if it's just regular... Actually, you know what? The regular FNM stamp is fine. Get rid of the shooting star. I don't want to see the shooting star. It's, no. I don't like it. Maybe you guys feel differently, but I don't like the shooting star. I would rather have the FNM stamp on there. As I unzip my jacket, dump out 3 people, count them, 3 foil Sanctuary Cats. I know you're jealous right now. Sanctuary Cat is the best card in the format. Be jealous. You should be. Because if I didn't have 3 foil Sanctuary Cats, I would be pretty upset. I'm still looking for more. If you guys have foil Sanctuary Cats, I might be willing to do deals for them over YouTube. I will pay through PayPal for Sanctuary Cats. I will pay you $1 Sanctuary Cat foil. That's easy money, people. Easy money. Send me your Sanctuary Cats. So we have a little break in here. I take the first game against Will. We're going to be going into game 2. Mono black against mono red. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of this mono black deck. Mono black is my favorite archetype. Outside of black blue, mono black is my favorite mono color. If I could play any mono color, it would be mono black. If I could play any 2 colors together, it would be black and blue. If I could play any 3 colors together, it would be black, blue, and white. It doesn't matter. I love those decks. I love control decks. I love having fun with control. I love getting there with control. Turn 2, I will drop a Ratchet Bomb on the field, crank it up to 1, keep that Shrine of Burning Rage in check, keep him in check. If he wants to keep that Shrine around, he can't commit to the board. If I get to 2, I can crack it at any point in time, at any counters that I want from that point forward, and kind of force him to either undercommit to the board or, force him to crack that, because if he ends up playing cards to the board, if he plays a 2 mana cost, he can't crack that in response. I can pay 2 and crush that Shrine. If he cracks the Shrine, he pays 3 mana, he can only launch something for 1 mana. So Ratchet Bomb right now adds a lot of limiting your options, so what you can do with the field, what you can do with your board if you value that Shrine, because that Shrine gets you there late game. And right now he hasn't had a fast start. He's at 5 lands already, which is more than a red deck wants to see at this point. If I was playing red deck, and from what I've gathered from red deck, you don't want to be hitting like 6, 7, 8 lands. You want to stay 4, 5 the most, and then just you want to curve out and get points of damage on the board. Because eventually late game, if they don't have life gain, you can end up drawing your burn spells and burn them out. Or early game, you draw your burn spells, keep them off board, and then just hope they burned out all their resources and you get in there with damage to add significant pressure. Right now I have a Lashrith on board. That's a 4/4, staring down a Stormblood Berserker. I mean, not Stormblood Berserker, Stormkirk Noble. So right now Will's in a little bit of a tight spot, and it looks like he's getting mana flooded at the moment. I think I see 2 land at least in his hand. It's kind of the same thing with mono black in regards to mono red. You want to get your guys on board. You don't have to necessarily do a lot of damage, but I feel like mono black has a better late game than mono red, because mono red's late game really depends solely on... Sorry, I was interrupted. I forgot where I left off. But yeah, you guys aren't going to notice that, but I have to pause this, so I kind of had to take care of something. Yeah, so gonna crack that, burn up that Shrine, leave potential damage off my life. I'll play another Lashrith and really just slam down on the board right now. So I have 2 5/5s and a 2/2. Not really anything he can do at this point is going to crush, and he's just getting mana flooded. Sitting on a lone Stormkirk Noble, which he's going to end up having to use to chump block, because you're not swinging into a 5/5 untapped unless you have a way to kill my Lashrith. And even then, I just took up the Lashrith to either the Diagraph Ghoul or the other Lashrith and go to town. So it's not really a wise investment on his part to swing in. It's a germ, not a human. No protection when he swings. Can't be blocked by humans. Whatever. Will's going to tap 2, play another Shrine. The original art, last one was the FNM promo Shrine. Or a Gateway promo, I should say, which is pretty sweet art. I didn't even know what it was when you first played it. It was it's interesting to see different artworks for cards that you see all the time played in similar decks. It kind of throws you off a little bit at first, kind of like, I don't know what that is. But and Will's gonna play a Stormblood Berserker for no Bloodthirst with 2 mana wide open. And both of our sleeves match our decks. I have black sleeves, he has red sleeves. And I will flash him a card, another land, I assume I flashed? I couldn't see very quickly. You guys can correct me. I'm fine with being corrected. My girlfriend does it enough to me. Baby, if you're listening to this, love you. Anyway. Dismember, Doomblade, clear the board. Get in strong damage. Bring him down to a little, if not dead. He's actually really close to being dead, if I'm remembering correctly. He has a Rootbound Crag in his hand. He should be at like 1 or 2 in that range. Yeah, he was looking for a what is that card? Ancient Grudge of Ancient People. Thank you for watching this edition of FNM TV. The other videos will be up shortly. Patrick Holland wins 2-0 over William Noonan. And thank you. Follow along.